Want to get back there? Oh, report back. What am I? Okay. Did you not listen to the instructions?
We were busy talking.
What I really like are any kind of unique ideas that you think you have made, even if they're not so unique, but I bet they are. Secondly, any groups that you don't think are represented or you've not heard discussed. Thirdly, whatever, any of you that are interested in sharing your skills, want to write your name, your contact, and how you would like to help. Whether it's manpower, whether it's artist work, whatever that might be. A bake sale? No, I'm kidding. Can't do bake sales, I believe. But we're going to get started and then report back. So thank you.
Okay, I'm supposed to be talking about our ideas.
Yes.
All right. One thing that came up as far as them saying that there was no money available at this point is to maybe go to corporations, okay, and say, this is important. Can you please help
Can we
us?
hold it down so we can all hear? So corporation contacts,
Okay, so
employees.
to go to corporations and see if the corporations themselves would donate some money to help get awareness out there. It's going to benefit them. To go to what else do we have here? Veterans groups, American Legion, Elks, those kind of people. What else do we have? Okay, doing job recruiting events. To let everybody know, like go to social services or whatever, wherever people who maybe are not, who are very underemployed, would like to work for the census. It's pretty good money, and you can let it be known in the community that these jobs are out there, and apply. They can apply online, and I think people would appreciate knowing that.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll see what this table has to offer.
I'll add one thing from
Okay.
this table from a connectivity standpoint. We talked about various nonprofit organizations that we may be associated with and maybe connecting with the library to see if there's an opportunity to bring that mobility out of the library to some of those events.
Okay.
Like, free meals to the community that might be offered, homeless initiatives where you're getting populations that might have a lower return.
Even food shop clinics probably bring in a lot of people and could have a flyer or something with some of that. So, okay, great. Thanks, Kim. We'll let Sherry.
So
She's used to
we
it.
gave Susan a whole list of things. So
Okay.
we concentrated on education
everybody.
and the hard-to-reach populations. So we talked about some specific groups. I thought the veterans groups were great. I mean, talk about your trusted individuals to be able to do that would be awesome. We also talked about the Rochester International Academy, which is a school at Rochester City. It's not a charter, it's a public school out of the Rochester City School District. And their principal was presented to us, and she's amazing. Her staff is amazing. We also talked about working with district clerks.
Oh, okay.
It was sent to them because that's a great way of getting information out to the school districts. Yes, yes, because they are part of that. We talked about Food Link. Somebody brought up Food Link. And Christian Heritage Services. Again, it's those organizations that are already working with those underserved populations that we can get out there and really help them understand the importance of doing this.
Okay, and if on your paper, if you are willing to donate your time with your skills, make sure I get that so that the entire complete committee can get that. I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but I have a feeling there's a lot of people here that really are eager to help see that that is successful. Okay, next.
Yes, we talked about, there's a Project Homeless Connect on October 15th, and that would be a good contact, good connect for a lot of the people that be going down to the Rochester Blue Cross Arena.
Is that where it is? I was going to ask where it is.
Yes. In the community school partner meetings,
Need is Northeast Association, and they're connected to the Beechwood
neighborhood school.
Neighborhood School.
School 33, School 17.
So there's at least 4 schools that really have connections to the communities that are up and working.
The Rochester People's Climate Coalition, the environmental group, Citizen Action. I thought of a lot of the synagogues have social action committees that go reach out to needy parts of the community. And I would personally would like to see making sure they reach out to the adult disability community, not just the hearing and vision, but for those that are developmentally delayed, they need to be reached out to also.
Would that be group homes or in addition
Well,
to?
it would probably be through the different agencies.
The agencies, okay.
Because the different agencies each have their own group of people that are connected to them, and how to reach out to all the people that, some of them are going to live at home, adults are going to be living at home, and some are going to be living in group homes or in independent settings.
Those are very vulnerable
Right,
populations
and
that
important to be counted.
may be underserved financially as well. Okay, thank you. Kim, is that your table? Anything else? Okay, next.
Over here, Jason started off with providing us a little information about the Southern Tier and how they found volunteer fire departments to be a helpful resource. Human Services departments, homeless shelters. A lot of activist groups were identified, particularly working with undocumented immigrants. The New York Immigration Coalition, Rochester Rapid Response Network, also Action Together Rochester, Indivisible Rochester, the Green Light Group. There was someone who was identified who works with the Nepalese community, Meals on Wheels, RAIN, Rochester Area Interfaith Housing Network, and then we have someone was identified from the Green Light Group as a contact person, someone identified for contact with the Nepalese, and a couple of people did give their contact information for their willingness to work and help with communication, just getting the word out.
That sounds great. I think you can really sense that the interest and the commitment to the census. So I can't believe the number of organizations that.
I was just sitting at the tables, but I volunteered refugees, helping refugees, and I think it's Tuesday, Wednesday, there's a speaker. I spoke to the person who arranges for the speakers to come in, and she's interested in this. And human trafficking victims.
Yes.
That are very invisible, that Human Trafficking Coalition and the Human Trafficking Intervention Partners groups have connected to those people and things that we can reach them.
It also sounds like maybe some of these groups, like Refugees Helping Refugees, would entertain a program or something. Susan, you're not going to be home for the rest of the season. But I really do appreciate your conversation. But before we go, I do want to thank you all, especially our guests, for giving up tonight, for sharing your expertise. I want to mention that our program tonight will be shown on the League's YouTube channel, which is available through www.LWV-RMA, or you can just Google us, Rochester, just League of Women Voters, and Rochester Metro League will come up on the side. You will see our YouTube channel, and you'll also see the voter, where a lot of, some of these comments will be shared in the article, will be written about tonight's program. So a couple of announcements before I let you go between the raindrops. Tomorrow, in case you don't know and need to know, which I doubt, is National Registration Day, Voter Registration Day. So don't let that go by. And then when all my Facebook posts, I say, and after that, circle April 1st, 2020, to call attention to the census. But also, Judy mentioned, we have a wonderful resource available to people regarding the upcoming elections. It's also on our website, and it's Vote411. And pardon? .org. I did forget that. .org. So vote911.org. What did I say? Oh my glory, 911. Well, you can see where my head is. So anyway, please do check that out for candidate information and other important, valuable information. I'd also encourage you to come back in November 11th, right here at Asbury. Our next forum is actually going to be on court simplification. Now that may sound dull. That may sound, what? But you know what? There's, again, what you don't know is incredible. New York has one of the most complex court structures, and it leads to a lot of things that are perhaps unintended, such as justice delayed and other things. So I hope you'll look for information about that. That will be November 11th.
Who's speaking?
Denise Constrad, I don't think I pronounced her name right. She is with www.moderncourt.org, and she presented on this at our League convention last summer, and she will be coming to Rochester for that. We're also working on a speaker from Legal Aid to come and speak, and also a judge, just to try to get a broad perspective of why this is important. So encourage you to put that on your calendar as well. But most of all, I really want to thank you for coming out and do whatever you can to ensure that everyone is counted. So good night. Thank you so much.
One other thing. If you aren't familiar with early voting, this is the first election cycle where we'll be able to cast votes up to 10 days before the actual election day. This is new legislation just passed earlier this year. So we do have some pamphlets that give you the details, as well as in Monroe County, the voting locations and times.
Because they're not necessarily your voting sites. Right. Which I think is great for states where there's been a lot of barriers to voting. If they're one of the 33 states that has early voting, you're likely to vote in an open polling place. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Always have to have the last word. So good night, everyone. Thank you.